How's it going? I know. Crazy hectic, right? Well, sit back and relax and welcome to the Mom and Pop Spot. Help me welcome my dad and the host of the show, St. Patrick.
Welcome. Good day, boy moms and supporters. I hope today is in your favor and your child is not pushing your patience. Please remember, your child was just like you, and your mom is probably laughing somewhere, telling you that these kids are your payback. Boy moms, your child will give you heart attacks to heartaches, headaches to the greatest joy of life, mixed with plenty of random moments of nakedness and telling you how they're going to marry you. If you need a moment, I hope this is it. I am here for you, and this is your support group. Welcome to episode number Dre I. I think that's how you say it, or Dre High. If someone can tell me how to properly say it so I don't look socially awkward and uncomfortable, which is also the name of my other show. Before I forget, I have to mention a couple of things. The symbol of One Love and everything that it's connected with is not a specific person, it's more of the spirit or the symbol of anyone. For the shows, I'm going to try and have a rotating cast because I want it to represent every single person. I don't care whatever background you are, religion, political party, this is for everyone. One Love represents everybody. As long as you don't hurt anyone or cause harm, is my only issue. The other thing is, yes, I have been reading from my laptop. It's until I get fully comfortable and good at this to where I can look directly at you outside people. Plus, like Aerosmith, I don't want to miss a thing. We have a fun episode today. Today, we have boy moms on the show. We have an amazing set of guests today. They both have YouTube channels. They both are influencers. They are both strong, passionate, and independent mothers who will kick your butt while putting on makeup and make it look amazing while doing it. I had to baby beg these ladies for this one. Please help me welcome Giovanna Lopez and Monique Harrell to the show. How are you both doing?
Good.
Good? You guys ready for a good episode?
I'm excited.
Cool. What did you guys think before the episode?
I was a little bit nervous.
Okay.
I was out of my element, I think.
Uh-huh. Have you checked out any of the episodes yet?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you?
I'm excited. I'm more like interested on hearing other boy moms' perspective on things. It's always cool to like get like the stories and stuff. So
We're gonna get into it.
yeah.
Nothing too crazy, but it'll be fun. Question. Who's right or wrong? There was a story of this father outraged because his daughter goes to his mom's house and the mom cakes up the daughter's face with makeup and dresses up the little girl to look older. The father tries to keep the child's innocence and doesn't want the child to wear makeup or wear certain types of clothes. The child is around 8 and acts one way with the mother and another with the father. Who's right and who's wrong?
Personally, I don't think neither is right or wrong.
Uh-huh.
Especially if they're kind of like it sounds like split
Uh-huh.
households. So I think that's just a perspective they'd have to come into terms with.
Yeah, and you would agree?
Yeah, I was going the same way. I don't think anybody's right or wrong. Personally, I think I would want to keep the child's innocence too, but I mean, it doesn't make the mom wrong.
Does that make it different because of today's society that we're in?
I think it comes down to like I don't know. I think that a father figure to a daughter is a little bit harder
Mhm.
than a mom to a daughter would be. I wouldn't know, but I do know like a mom to a son is a little bit more stricter than a dad to a son or something
And I
similar.
thought it was important to ask both of you because of the fact that you're looking on the opposite realm,
Yeah.
the opposite spectrum. So I thought it was important to ask you. Do you ever get mad at your child for doing something, but deep down you're laughing because it was actually funny?
Oh,
Like, have you ever had? Can you share a moment?
I feel like it happens every day. Or like the other day, he word for word used like a cuss word exactly how I use it, and it was funny.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just like, hey, that's a bad word. But deep down, I thought it was hilarious because context and everything, it was perfect. He used it as it should have been used.
I know for me, like when I take my middle son, when I take his device away, he's so in tune with outside of the devices as well.
Mhm.
He'd be like, "Oh, I don't care. I'll play with my Legos or I'll play with my NASCARs. Like it doesn't even bother me. Like actually, I shouldn't even be on those devices anyway. Like he'll try to like, reverse psychology on me, and I'm just like, wait a minute. Like you're supposed to be in trouble, but he always has something to remark back from it. And half the time, I'm just like, dude, what the heck?
Like glass half full. That's how he.
Yeah.
Yes. How did having your child change you?
Personally, I think I grew up when I had a child. I think I matured in another like crazy aspect of life. And
Mhm.
it's like my eyes were so narrow-minded
Yeah.
before I had children, especially when you have that second kid.
Mhm.
It's like you really take everything into consideration.
Okay.
I think I was very selfish,
Yeah.
you know, not having kids. And now that I have kids, it's like you have to give what you can and be
Mhm.
there and put your own needs aside a lot of the times.
Yeah.
So it's just finding that balance of how to be like a present mother, but also
Mhm.
being able to give to yourself. And then, you know, like if you're married, and it's just a crazy balance.
Okay.
Yeah, no, for sure. It made me a lot more responsible because
Yeah.
before I went when I wanted to, if I wanted, I'd be like, so it's a good day to go to Vegas today.
Yeah.
Take off. I had no responsibilities here to hold me back other than my job, but you know,
Yeah.
around that. But now my world revolves around him.
Yeah.
Do you ever see yourself, because it seems that, you know, this next generation is not having kids as young, or they're not even really having kids at all? Do you feel that you're kind of in a different, you know, very like in a different category because of, you know, where everybody else is going?
Yeah, I think so. No, for sure. Because I mean, they don't have. I think nowadays a lot of kids that aren't having kids as young or just having kids at all,
Mhm.
they're more selfish, and not in a bad way. They didn't want to have kids. They don't have responsibilities, but they definitely a little bit more, I think, selfish, and they think about themselves more than other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think that the generation before us, like our parents,
Mhm.
they were like thrown into the fire doing things by themselves. And I think us, like I know for me, like growing up, seeing my mom like do things on her own and stuff
Yeah.
like that, it definitely put me in a state where like I wanted to make sure I was a little bit more stable before I had kids as well.
Yeah.
So I definitely think it's just like our generation that's just like, let me make sure I don't have to go through what my parents had to go through, you know? So
It also made it better because of the fact that we were well equipped for when that time came. I feel.
yeah.
I know with me, like when my parents had kids, I had to babysit. So I was like, you know what, like when it comes down to, you know, entering parenthood, I think I should be okay with it. I might not be the best, but at least I'll have enough knowledge to be able to be like, okay, like these kids are gonna drive me crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Um, Me and my son were having a conversation the other day, and he asked about girls. Yes, at 10 years old. But I told him the way to a woman's heart is through laughter. If you're funny, she'll remember those moments. I always tell him to think of moments to compliment a woman that she normally doesn't get complimented on. Compliment her elbows. Tell her elbows look nice, you know? Tell her hair doesn't smell like regrets, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because she's going to laugh at that, and she's always going to remember, like, he made me laugh,
Yeah.
you know? My wife tends to disagree because she's like, you're not funny. Um, but I honestly think that's what it is. What is your perspective to your heart?
I think respect,
Okay.
100%, and I feel like I mean, respect. You gotta respect, boundaries, whatever it is, whatever
Mhm.
that person is comfortable with.
Yeah.
I think that's number one. Especially being a boy mom, I want to teach him to respect women or girls, whatever. He needs to.
So when you're talking to him and he's asking that question, like, how do I attract women? Like, what is that conversation you're going to have with them?
How to attract women?
Yes.
I agree with you 100%. Somebody funny, I think
Mhm.
that's the way to my heart. I
Yeah.
think funny people, like, that's something that somebody will always remember.
Yeah.
So I agree with you on that.
Because I think being funny or outweighs everything else, whether your looks. And actually, speaking of looks, my mom and my dad owe me an apology for making me look the way I look. I look like I'm a stunt double for the Crash Dummies, but that's neither here nor there. But I think humor is a big one.
I agree.
I mean, you know what I mean? You can look like the best person, but if you're an asshole, you're an asshole.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
For
Yeah.
me, I would definitely say manners is like number one for me. Like
Mhm.
the way you hold yourself to your standards and is the way that your woman's gonna want to be held to. And so manners is big for me. That was a
Mhm.
huge thing that attracted me to my husband. He is funny as well.
Yeah.
But definitely like manners and the way you present yourself.
I have to agree because confidence plays a big factor.
Yeah.
If you don't have confidence,
Right.
girls are going to walk
Yeah.
over you.
Right. If you
you
don't
know?
have,
Yeah.
if you can't, if you're going to be shy and don't want to approach somebody, then nobody,
Yeah.
girl's not going to approach you most of the time.
Yeah.
There's some that will, but most of the time the girl wait for the guy to approach them. So
You got to make the first move. You have to be confident in who you are as a
Yeah.
person. And
Yeah.
that's the most attractive thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have confidence, you're going to be saved in someone's phone as food. Remember that.
For sure.
Not food.
How did your partners get you guys?
I was young. I mean, we've been together since I'm on and off since we were 16.
Okay.
And, but I mean, he's a funny dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. one of the biggest things. But he's also really confident. He is the type of person that he knows what he is, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I met my husband in high school, and we did long distance through college, on and off. And then when I moved back home, we ended up, getting married and having kids. But I definitely think like what had our connection so strong was like growing up together, and like having someone always there. There's been boyfriends where they just come and go and they don't care about your life anymore. And so when we had broke up, it was still something that like we cared for each other. He was still a friend, and that's something that I want to always teach my sons is that, girls aren't just here to be a good time. Like if you care about someone, you really have to be there for them. So,
Okay. Now, kind of getting into the boy mom portion of it, what fears do you have as a boy mom?
I feel like I fear everything. Just being a mom in general. I'm just like, I'm always scared of if something's going to happen to him. If I'm such a protective mom, I think, that I'm always worried about something.
Yeah.
But him just getting older, that's scary.
Gonna run into a lot of issues. I mean, I'm running into a ton of them myself, and I'm like, shit. Okay, how do I handle this?
Right.
I feel like boys definitely have a lot more pressure than girls do. Even like just talking to moms, like you never hear like, did you teach your daughter how to cross her legs? It's always like, are you teaching your son to respect women? Like it's a lot more pressure on boys than it is on girls. So it's a big fear of mine on how they're gonna be like perceived and how they're gonna do in public when I'm not there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's why I think it's important too, even for the fathers, make sure that they're being very respectful, at home to the moms, because the fact that if I'm not respecting my wife, these kids are not gonna respect them.
That's 100%. Yeah.
Asking your wife, can I kiss you? So that way the boys know. I know it sounds kind of cheesy and everything else.
That's a good point. It's a
but
really good
those
point.
moments carry along, because now in today's society, you go and do that later on down the road, there goes a case where she can be like, well, he kissed me without my permission.
Yeah.
It's something that we have to like, it kind of feels like we have to walk on eggshells now, but it's just those precautionaries that'll set it up for later on down the road. How do you both explain masculinity with equality?
I think by example, like in my household, everything's 50-50. Like dad does laundry just as much as I do. Like we both clean. Like just there's no like roles in my house. I think we both do everything. And I mean, I'd hope he would one day help his partner just as much as his dad helps me.
Okay.
Yeah, my house is pretty 50-50 as well. I will say like my boys are very like boyish. Like naturally, like they're super boyish, and they're like, like you said, running around naked, like, mommy, look at my muscles. And there's like nothing there, but I'm like, oh my God, so
strong.
I don't know if it's something that is just in them or if it's what they see from Anthony. But they're just always so active, and like I don't really have to teach them masculinity. I don't know if that's the question you're going towards, but there's not really like teaching it, but it's just like
it comes natural.
Yeah. It's making them feel good about it because, they're flexing so hard. There's nothing there, but
Yeah. How do you guys get mad with your sons? Like, they get you upset? How are you reacting?
Oh, I think it's funny because when I was a kid, like the look my mom gave me, I was just like, oh, and I think I have that too. I just got to look at him and he's like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I learned a lot with patience, especially with boys, like how active they are. So patience is like a big thing with me, and I know like when my sons are doing something, and I'm like, Ezekiel, and he's just like, like I know, I did something. So we're just like, what's going on? So, like it's just knowing, like telling them in the moment, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What is this? And they're like, oh, yeah, like calling them out.
Yeah,
instantly.
I do have to agree with boys. It does give you patience. A lot of times I have to reevaluate the situation, take a minute, calm myself down, because it's easy to overreact.
Right. Yeah.
And those moments are important, because if I overreact, then
for sure.
And I feel like I'm still learning that every day. Like patience is something that I learn every day. Yeah.
When you're learning, what are you doing to calm yourself down?
I just like you said, take a step back, evaluate the situation, and then come back. I don't want to say anything to him that's gonna, stick with him or anything like that. So I definitely need to think before I speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you the same thing?
Yeah. Luckily for me, like my husband works from home right now, so I'll like go into the office, like go get your son.
Yeah.
I do that. I'm just like, I can't right now. Like he knows, like when I can't, I go to him and I tell him like, go get your son. I cannot. Like I can't look at him right now. Like it's just, if it's that like intense, I know I just need to walk away and like swap out real quick.
No, I do that too. I'm like, come get your kid.
Yeah, that is funny.
Luckily, like I have that like, that comfortability with him being home. So I'm like so blessed about that. But
And what does punishment look like in your guys' house?
Oh my God, time out.
Yeah, I take things away.
Yeah.
Things
Oh,
that
yeah.
things he wants, you're
Mhm.
not gonna get.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I think my number one is
Yeah.
like for example, like he loves his tablet.
Uh-huh.
You don't get your
Oh, yeah,
tablet.
I'm bad at that. I literally on the last episode, I was like,
No, I'm really bad at that too. And I listened to your last episode where
Yeah.
you know they're on their phone or like we'll go to dinner and I automatically give them my phone.
it's
That's
so
something I need
convenient.
and it's something I need to work on. But
Yeah.
I'm there with you.
Yeah, I'm not a bad parent. It's just
Right.
convenient.
It's
Yeah.
just
That's why my kids have
convenient.
devices. But see, and kind of keeping on that factor, I think our kids are more intelligent because of it.
Absolutely.
Like I'm like, okay, how do I do this? And both
It's
my
a good
boys are like,
resource for
"It is."
sure. It really is a good
yeah.
resource.
Yeah.
I have been working on like the limit of using it.
Yeah.
But for me, like if I just shut that TV off, they know like, yes, ma'am, mommy, like what are we doing wrong? Like if I
Yeah.
just turn that TV off, they're like, what happened? Like what are we doing? So
Yeah.
a big punishment is just like quietness. I think for boys, they're like, why is it quiet? How come we
Yeah.
don't have toys? Like what's going on? So
Yeah, I literally just shut off the Wi-Fi, whether myself or my wife, she'll shut off the Wi-Fi, and that means like, don't do
That's
it.
Yeah.
My kid's
Mhm.
literally over there trying to hack into the system to try to like
Oh,
reboot it, and
wait.
I'm like,
So how old is your oldest?
10, 8,
10,
and
8, and
1, almost 2.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, yeah. There's things that I'm like, how did you know how to do that? Like,
Yeah, it's
I
crazy.
couldn't get the TV to work one time. Like it wasn't the internet wasn't connected, and he's like, you just gotta like disconnect it, like connect it back, and then turn it on. And I'm just like, what?
Yeah, it's
What?
weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing that annoys me though about the devices, side note, when they're watching videos of other people playing games
Yeah.
or unwrapping presents, I'm like, I don't understand that. I'm like, this
I
is
don't get it either.
a waste of your time, your energy, your brain
Yeah.
cells. Like
Yeah.
me watching you watch that is making me
Yeah.
stupid. Like I don't like that.
My kids like to watch other kids play toys.
Uh-huh.
And so all he watches is another boy play with his cars. And while he sits there and plays with his cars, and I'm just like, every morning it's like, cars, toys, please. Like, how
Yeah.
can you be mad because he's asking please? But I'm watching it like 10 times a day.
Yeah. I'm like, record yourself or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are the fathers? Are they on the same page when you guys are disciplining?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. It's never an issue.
No, I don't think so. And then I think we established that from the very beginning. And I was like, if I say no, it's no. And same thing with him. He'll try to, if dad says no, he'll try to come to mom. And I'm like, dad already said no. So I think we're good in that where we're both on the same page.
Yeah.
For the most part.
I will say that's like the goal,
Yeah.
definitely. And it started out like that for us too. But the older like my oldest son gets, Ezekiel, he's 3.
Yeah.
The older he gets, the more I want to just like, okay, let's let him do what he wants to do. And I kind of feel myself being that like, I don't know, that boy mom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, for
You
sure.
know,
Yeah,
or-
because sometimes I'll give in to
Yeah,
like
I'm
something
like,
I gave
okay,
away, I
come
want
on.
to give it right
I'm
back.
like, he said
Yeah.
please, or like he didn't have it yesterday for that long. So like I tend to like push the limits with my husband's decisions.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to be that mom. Like I don't want to be like, but it's just
And that's my wife. I'm literally, if they try to like come into me and try to tell me something, like, what did your mom say?
Right.
Whatever she says sticks.
Yeah.
What did
Her
your
on the
mom
other
say?
end, it's just like, well, like she makes excuses. I'm
Trying
like,
to negotiate.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, we can't do that. Like,
It's-
we have to, like,
Yeah.
because
That's
otherwise they're
so
gonna walk
funny.
over to her.
Yeah, and that might be a little bit different because you guys have multiples.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think with it's just one. So it's
Yeah, we get bullied. We get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
You
one that
run over
ties me
each
up.
We
I
have
got the other
3
one
now,
that's.
yeah.
Yeah,
Should have had your wife on here with us.
I was thinking about it, but it's just the fact that like she wants to do her own thing,
Yeah.
which I respect and
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
else. So once she gets it going, maybe we revisit this and
Yeah.
talk about other stuff. But okay, so like Hannah Montana to Miley Cyrus, we're gonna switch it up after this break.
Habari Entertainment Films present There's Only One Name for News with Damon and Aisha. Habari Live Podcast. Habari Entertainment, a race against time. On a quest for glory. Habari News Weekly, HabariEntertainment.com. Catch us for more. Visit us, HabariEntertainment.com.
We're back. So this next segment, I want to just give out certain situations and tell me how you guys would respond to this. One of the situations is your son's in a relationship. He lives with his girlfriend, but doesn't provide the girlfriend. She pays the bills. She works long hours, maybe 2 jobs, does the cooking and the cleaning. How do you guys respond?
Oh no. Not okay.
I know a situation like that. That's the reason why I'm just like,
No, not okay.
maybe by you speaking, you can kind of speak it through the wire.
Yeah, no, that's not. That's definitely a conversation that would need to be had. And obviously, if I guess he would be at an adult at that point. But
Yeah.
definitely, it's something that I don't teach him. So I'd be really disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely be disappointed, and I would definitely connect with the girlfriend and ask her like, what are her goals in life? Because if my son's not providing for you, like, I think she should like, you know, like it's not just all on the son. Like, I would want to connect with the girlfriend and ask her like, how does she really feel about this? Is she really comfortable with that? Because at a certain age, if I didn't teach you right, then you're just not caring.
Yeah, it's a rough situation because it's just like, I get it. You're a hard worker, you're independent, this and that, but you need that support system.
Absolutely.
If that support system is not supporting you, then there's no system.
What are you doing? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have you foreseen the moment that your son has a partner and no longer sees you as their only love?
Oh, no, I haven't got to that point yet.
No?
No, I know eventually it'll happen, but I don't know.
I don't know. I obviously, like, it's inevitable, like, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I think like this girl better be very, very special.
Yeah.
Like the one. I would hate for my son to have his heart broken, and you know, like it happens
And
to everyone.
It's part of life, so I know it'll eventually happen.
It happens, but I just couldn't think of that happening right now.
Yeah. I never want to be that mother-in-law though that like interferes with like
relationships.
Yeah, with the relationship.
Yeah.
I don't see myself ever being that either, but it's just hard to see him as getting older.
Yeah. Is there any special rules or measures being played by the father so your sons know how to treat a woman? Like, is there anything that he's doing specifically that's saying, okay, this is what I want you to do when you start coming into those situations?
Right now, like, the boys are so young, I don't think it clicks for them, but like everyday things, like my husband always opens the door for me, like from the house, the car, like grocery stores, anything, and the boys like catch on to that and they see that. So like they're starting to say like mommy first or girls first, you know, like when they open the doors. But it's just like she mentioned earlier, like daily things that you have to just do naturally so your boys pick up and think that that's the natural state to treat a woman.
Yeah, I think that's the number one, is set by example. Yeah,
just so that way you're instilling those
exactly
basic, you know. If a woman ever displays any form of mental or physical abuse to your sons, how are you guys reacting?
I mean, if she's 18 and older, like I could fight. I'm just kidding. No,
I mean, domestic violence does happen with men, so I do want to put that out there.
It does. And it's something that like I feel like you cross the bridge when you get to, but like as of now, I'll fight. I'm just kidding. It's just it's different. Like I would assume like she's of age to put her hands on my son. She better like fear her life. Probably something my husband's gonna have to hold me back from, you know, getting involved with. But it's definitely something I would take action and just get my son away from that person and never let them. You know.
I wanted to ask this because I know how the both of you are. Like, I don't even want to say the wrong thing around you too, because I know I'll get shanked in the neck. I'm like, shoot, like, you know what I mean?
I'm trying to be a better person.
It's a hard thing to.
No, that's difficult. Yeah, because the one thing I've always said, the one thing you don't mess with is my kid. But I definitely, even starting from like now since he was little, is having a communication. I really hope that he'd be able to reach out to me and, you know, talk to me about it or talk to somebody about it, because a lot of men don't, like, that's why you don't hear about women being the abuser in a relationship, because men don't speak up.
Yeah.
That's true.
So definitely want to.
I think even too, with a more recent situation is the Johnny Depp.
Oh yeah.
I think that helped a lot because it's opening up doors.
Exactly.
Just because of masculinity with equality, we're set on certain boundaries and rules and regulations that it's frowned upon. It's like, you know, you can't really speak up.
Yeah.
What do you want your boys to learn from you both?
How to be a decent human being. Like there's so many, like I see like bullies and just kids are so mean. And I really hope that I teach my son well enough to grow up to be a nice person. Like you treat everybody the same. You're nice to everybody. And obviously also don't let anybody bully you. But you know what I mean? I want him to be nice to everybody.
I definitely want my boys to learn how to embrace who they are. I think that's a big thing that like growing up in those like mid stages of your life that you
Yeah.
kind of get lost in like wanting to be what you see
Mhm.
or what your family wants you to be. So I just want my boys to embrace who they are
Yeah.
and to live life to what they want it to be, not to feel stuck, not to feel,
Yeah.
like they have to go certain places and do certain things. I want them to really like just like live their life.
happy.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
That's important. I mean, just to be happy, because it's just my 10-year-old is so worried now of what everybody else is gonna think. I'm like, dude, I just want you to be
Oh,
happy.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's hard.
Just
Yeah.
be 10 years old. I
Yeah.
don't want you to be anything else.
Worried
Enjoy
about
yourself.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and they're gonna get to that age where they have to go to school, and there's gonna be other opinions and other kids. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was dope because I had a conversation with my son earlier today, and it was a lot. Which we'll get over in in a few episodes and stuff like that. But I had to explain different situations in my life because he depends a lot on his friends. He depends on a lot on his looks, images, everything else.
Yeah.
That's least of your worries.
right,
Be who you're gonna be because people are always gonna. His friends are not gonna be there in 10 years,
Right.
20 years, maybe. Because I do have 2 friends at
maybe one or
grade
two.
school.
Though, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everybody else, like, and they have to be true friends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean?
that's definitely a fear, is like when they do start school and they have to go out and make friends and stuff, is just knowing that like if you are who you are and you connect with who you connect with, that's
Mhm.
okay. They don't have to be, look a certain way or act a certain way. It's just who you connect with.
Yeah. My wife always says that she's not afraid of anything because she raises boys. Even me. I mean, she even raises me. I'm not a boy, but I'm kind of getting there. I'm a boys to men, but I'm pumped. Do you ever feel more patient in a sense, stronger because you're raising boys versus girls?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of empowering to be like, yeah, I'm a boy mom. Like you gotta be kick ass to be
You
raising little
definitely,
men.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've come across a lot of situations where I'm like, oh my God, I want to freak out, but my kids are not even crying, so I can't cry.
Exactly.
Like
yeah.
just the other day, like my youngest had hit his head really bad. And the second like he got up in my arms, he kind of calmed down, and I'm looking at the blood and I'm like, oh shit.
He's not crying.
Yeah, I'm like, I have to be a little bit stronger because my boys are so strong.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and they're gonna always be strong and brush it off. And I'm just like, how are you not crying?
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like nothing can hurt me anymore. Like things that I cared about before or things that hurt. Like I'm a mom now. That's
Yeah.
that's my number one responsibility in life. And as long
Mhm.
as I'm doing that, everything else is
Yeah, it's on the back burner. And that's the reason why I gave up music, because the fact that I wanted to focus in on just being a dad. Like
Right.
that literally became my
Mhm.
whole entire priority.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That'll come and go. I mean,
Yeah.
if it does come, like if it doesn't, I don't really care. I just want to make sure that they are not just successful, but happy.
Happy. Yeah.
Mentally happy, because
Exactly.
mental awareness is a real thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have all boys, but I don't have interest in trying to have a girl. I like the fact that my wife is the only girl.
Yeah.
It means that she will be filled with boy love. Even the dog is a boy. Well, he actually identifies as a bow wow. So you both have boys. Are you going to try to have a girl?
Personally,
Yeah.
I enjoy being the only girl in the house as well.
Mhm.
I grew up with like all girls.
Yeah.
Like most of my cousins were girls. I have only a sister and my mom in the house. Like
Mhm.
this is my first interaction with like being around boys so much.
Yeah.
Even my dog is a boy as well. So
Yeah.
I'm literally the
Mine.
only girl in the house, and
Yeah.
I like it. I always say this to my husband, like I wouldn't know how to switch to being a girl mom.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't know how to like,
Uh-huh.
do the differences between that. So
Yeah.
we're not trying for a girl. I don't know.
Yeah. And you?
Yeah. I think we'll have one more, but I mean, whatever I get, I get. If it's a boy and I'm a boy mom, I'm happy with that. And
Yeah.
obviously, if I get a girl too, then I'm happy with that too. But I grew up with brothers too. I have two brothers.
Yeah, I got a ton of sisters, so
Yeah, I don't have. I was always the only girl, other than my mom, but I was always the the princess in the house. So
yeah. I always hate the negative I don't even know connotation. The negative thing is everybody's like, oh well, they kept trying because they were wanting a girl.
no, I
Like,
wouldn't.
no.
No.
Yeah.
Like it's never been the point. Like granted, when she was pregnant, just like how you said, whatever we have, as long as the baby is healthy,
Mm.
that's your number one concern.
Right.
Yeah.
But to me, because the fact that I had all boys was very reassuring to me. And I don't want to say this in a negative tone, because if you have girls, more power to
Right,
you.
yeah.
Respect, power,
Oh my
love, and
God,
everything
yeah,
else.
they're a handful. My nieces.
Oh yeah, my nieces.
Yeah.
I have a big fear of having girls. That's literally, it's been, I would stress until we found out that it was a boy. And it goes because of the fact that human trafficking is huge in
yeah.
Arizona. And then just all the other worries of just having a girl. I
Yeah.
mean, I grew up as a boy, had, friends and everything else. And it's like, I know what everybody's thinking, saying, doing everything else.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't personally want a girl because of all this unnecessary stress that it caused.
Right. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
you have to be careful with your daughters, and I would never be the one to try for a girl. Whatever I get, I would get, and I'd be totally happy with. But
Yeah.
yeah, being a girl mom, I think would be.
Is this important to the fathers? Like, are they wanting girls?
No.
No.
I don't know. I think my husband would love to be a girl mom because he wants the experience that I have being a boy mom.
Uh huh.
For him, it would be like a even crazier experience to be a girl dad.
Yeah.
Because I think that that's a whole nother relationship, is a dad and his daughter. So I think he somewhat would enjoy having a girl. But I don't know.
Let me take it back. If not anytime soon, but in time, if my boys have a girl, it's gonna change the perspective because I would love for them to have a girl.
Right.
Because then at that point, I see myself where I can take, if not retire, then I can take time off, and we can actually, help them and take care of the, our granddaughter in that case, or whatever the case is. So, another topic I want to discuss that will probably ruffle some feathers and cause my 10 subscribers to go back down to 9. Please don't unsubscribe. I mean, I'm happy at 10. Yes. But what are your thoughts on pet parents?
I think it's cute.
It's cute, but
I mean,
hear me out.
You mean
I
like
mean,
when
no
they only have
disrespect.
pets and they consider them like a baby?
Kind of. A little bit of that,
Mhm.
but I hate not hate, because hate's a strong word. I dislike the fact that a lot of people are being like, they're trying to put pet parents on a higher spectrum.
Oh no.
It's not the
It's not
same thing.
No.
You're not
Yeah.
stressing when your child is sick. If you need to go away, you
Yeah.
put the
Yeah.
the animal or the pet in a cage. You can't do that with the kid. I mean,
Yeah.
CPS is gonna be knocking on your door like,
Definitely, like, pets are animals. Most of are animals, and they have their own animal instinct.
Yeah.
Babies don't.
Yeah.
Babies don't have that survival mode like animals can do for themselves. So
Yeah.
it is a little bit different. I don't think I've come across too many situations where, like, I've
Yeah.
seen pet parents being extra, but
The other thing too is because one of the things that some of the pet parents will say, but like, yeah, but children make a lot of mess, and I'm thinking like, you guys haven't met my dog. My dog has
I was
ADD.
gonna say, they
My
wanna
dog
borrow
will
my dog.
pee, poop,
Yep.
Yeah.
rip everything inside that house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's not
Same.
the same thing.
Same.
Yeah. Do you guys have pets?
I
You guys do,
do.
right?
Yeah, I have a
just got
poodle.
puppy. And I
Okay.
just got a puppy, yeah.
Nice. What is your belief on circumcision? It's a cosmetic surgery, but it has a lot of health benefits.
Yeah. And I was put in that, obviously, in that situation when my son was born too, and we were going back and forth, and I just didn't want him to go through the like pain, and they're like, "Oh, he won't," and I'm just like,
Back and forth
I
with,
was
with your man.
no,
Was he
with just
for
with
it?
no, he. I mean, I left it at the very end. I'm like, let's do what you want to do, but because obviously
As
he's
a
a boy, he
dad.
knows. Yeah, he has one, I don't.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I was like, I'm like, he's gonna be in pain. Like, I didn't want to put him through that if he didn't have to go through that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with religion and stuff, like, I grew up, like, knowing that that's unnecessary. Like you said, it's cosmetic, and it's not something that, like, God created you as. So I was very against it. My husband, like, came at me with a whole presentation on, like, the health benefits
The
and,
health benefits was
yeah,
my main
and
thing.
yeah, all the benefits and, like, the problems that he could have in the future if if the procedure is not done. And till the day of, I was crying. I'm like, this is not right. Like, like, I was praying so hard that everything would go well and he wouldn't feel any pain. And even, like, in the waiting room, because they had one parent go with the baby to get it done. And so I told Anthony, like, if this is gonna happen, you're gonna go with him. I can't see that. Like, I cannot be there. And I just remember crying so much, and the nurse came in and she was like, "Your baby didn't cry.
Yeah.
Your baby did not scream at all." And I was like, "What?" Like, in tears. And she's like, "No, you're crying more than your baby did." And I was like, "Oh my God." Like, what a relief. But it's definitely something that, like, I still battle with.
Yeah. It is what I'm hearing that some refer to as like the not muscle memory. Like when women have when they're having the baby, they will remember it in that moment, but after that they couldn't describe of how the actual pain was. When's a good time to talk to your child about fictional characters such as Easter Bunny, Santa, Bigfoot, Cardinal players? What fictional characters? Like when's it important?
I don't know. I think that's something that you should always like let your kids have that imagination with. Like I believe in imagination and
Mhm.
like not taking a child's innocence away. So
Yeah.
like
I think that
film,
plays into a child's innocence too. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
you know,
like it's fun to have those like beliefs and like
yeah.
I mean the Easter bunny is the Easter bunny, like, you know, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate to be like, you know, that's not real or
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
And we've been
you know,
talking
it's
about
me hiding the eggs. Like, who cares?
Yeah, no, and we've always talked about Santa, you know, and the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy since he was little. So
Yeah.
and I hope he believes in it for a long, long time to come.
Yeah.
I think it's fun.
We kind of transitioned over to a lot of it, and we kind of explained it to them, the situation. But like with Santa Claus or that kind of theory, like we kind of just transitioned it to make it not necessarily as it, a man coming down in our chimney when we don't have a chimney. Like we just explained the situation like if depending on how good you are, like we kind of just made it
Mhm.
based on our rules and regulations at home.
Yeah, so kind of same with us. And I was also we last year was really I think the first year where he was
Mhm.
like actually like, oh, like Santa Claus. And I was talking to his dad about it, and I'm like, maybe we should tell him like one gift is from Santa Claus
Yeah.
because when he goes to school, other kids are not gonna Santa Claus is not gonna bring them as much as it brought
Exactly.
Enzo or
Yeah.
you know or Enzo's not yet like I my heart
That's
hurts
my
for
guilt.
that.
That's my guilt.
It's a big
Yeah.
guilt for me too. And I was like, maybe we should just say like one of the presents for Santa Claus and the rest, you know, mom and dad worked hard to get you everything else.
Yeah.
That's true.
I still have time. We still go back and forth with it, but I feel that's what I think about is other kids, not Santa Claus, not bringing them,
Yeah.
you know, what
Like
they
we
asked
still
for.
play in the spirit of Christmas, and
yeah.
that's what Santa is in a sense.
It is, yeah.
I just don't want him to believe that some kids were good when they were really good and they didn't get anything.
That's
Yes.
that's my guilt too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you both have weird habits that you do to remind yourself of the kids? Like, say you're working, you're not at home, the kids are, at say your parents or whatever the case is. Do you guys have weird habits that you do to kind of like think of them? And I'll give you a situation. Sometimes when I have to fly out to work, I'll be there, a couple days, and it's gonna sound really weird, but when I go to sleep, when I'm at work, I'm not really thinking about anything. I'm just trying to focus in on making sure I'm getting the job done. But when I'm going to sleep, I have to have cartoons on, something that sounds childish.
Yeah.
Just so that way I can still balance out that craziness from them being there. I
That's
always want to
interesting.
carry them with me, so that's the reason why I kind of do that.
That's interesting. For me, like anything that I say, I could hear my kids
Yeah.
repeating me like in
Uh-huh.
their own voices. So I like will start laughing at myself a lot if I say something and I know like my son is always saying this too. So I think they're just always in my head though at the same time.
Yeah.
I've been a stay-at-home mom, for a while now with
Mhm.
part-time jobs, but I'm just with them so much that when I do get away, it's just
Yeah.
in the back of my mind. Like I don't really get lost where I'm like, oh my God, my kids.
Yeah. No, neither do I. I think everything like reminds me of him too. But no, for like where you said like watching cartoons when you go to sleep, he always says I'm go to sleep before
Yeah.
him and dad every night because I'm to wake up earlier than them every day. So, but he always gives me my goodnight hug and my goodnight kiss, and I don't think I'd be able to go to sleep without at least if I'm not there, at least calling him.
Yeah.
And he has both of our numbers on his like iPad, so he can FaceTime us or call us whenever he wants. So
Oh, that's cool.
he'll call it. Like I'll be at work and I'm like, my son's calling me.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's cute.
Yeah.
Wow.
One thing too that I do, another cheesy kind of thing, but I do now and laters. Like the candy, but I use the name, not the candy. I use when I leave to work, I'll kiss, my boys, my wife, 2 times. One for now, one for later. God forbid I ever make it home. I literally gave my way of saying goodbye to them in a sense. So being a male, it's frowned upon for boys to cry or be emotional. I'm not afraid to admit I can be emotional. What are you telling your sons about crying or feeling any type of way, therapy, anything like that?
I want my son to be able to express his feelings. I don't want him to be like boys don't cry because boys do cry and some need to cry, let it out. But I want him to always be able to express how he's feeling.
It's very therapeutic and it's very healthy to cry.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. My son is like learning emotions, like he's 3, so he's learning like all the faces and stuff. And so crying is a big one. When he's angry, I ask him like, are you sad? And he'll be able to tell me, like, he'll say like, mommy, I'm sad. And I'm like, okay, do you want to, like, what do you want? What do you need? And
Yeah.
there's times where he's just crying and I'm like, you don't need to cry, but are you sad? And he's like, I'm sad. And he just, wants to let me know that he's sad. But I don't ever like try to tell him it's bad to cry or it's bad to have those feelings. Cause guys, I feel like a lot of men have that issue with sharing their emotions. And then that has, problems in life and with relationships. Women are a little bit more emotional, I'd say. And so it's nice to I would love my son to be raised and his wife be like, oh my God, you're so great at telling me your emotions. Like, like it's
everybody needs a good cry.
Yeah. And
I mean, I cry every year when my Cowboys don't make it or the Phoenix Suns don't make it. I mean, my wife's like, what's the matter? And I'm like, I'm sad. Like my Cowboys didn't make it.
I think that's a little bit something that you see in the house though as well. Like something you have to portray to your sons is like, I'm a guy and I get sad too.
Yeah. So both being on social media influencers, what do you say to those parents who exploit their children for likes and views?
I don't know if like anyone does it intentionally.
I've seen some where
I'm not as on TikTok.
Right.
I'm not as on TikTok as you are probably. Because I mean I have a family channel that originated literally because I wanted to like vlog and keep memories of my kids' lives and stuff. But I think it's to a certain extent where I mean I'm not gonna make an Instagram for my son because when he gets older, he's gonna do that on his own. I think those are kind of like the extent to where it's a little extra. Because one, like he's not running it and he's not able to like control that. So why like do it for him?
Yeah, no, I think if they don't want to be on camera, then you don't force that on anybody. Like, if they don't want to, then they don't have to. I think giving them the option, to be involved with it, and if they don't want to, then they don't want to.
I know.
I don't think you should force that on any kid.
Yeah,
and I know what you
I
mean
agree.
by there's people with the camera in kids' face
There's
that
so many
clearly don't want to be on camera.
Yeah, and there's so many different challenges that are coming out. I think what you have is good because it's showing a family that's balanced.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like where it's just like I don't know. I mean,
the kids channel, the kids TikTok and stuff.
It just a lot of it seems kind of like eerie. It seems kind of pedo-ish. It's really weird. Like
I think TikTok is huge on that right now too, where I see like people's conspiracies and stuff on some from TikTok accounts where the parents are like forcing it on these kids. They look like they're being forced. And scripted. It's just weird.
I think like this past year with COVID and everything and like TikTok really popping off and people are starting to see how much money is in like social media. I think
a lot of money
some parents are, catching on to that. It's like this kid, like you said, is just recording themselves playing, but it's does your kid want to do that? Do they enjoy doing that? So it's definitely something I'd like to like make sure like she said, like, do you want to be on here? If not, it's okay. Like you don't have to force it on them.
Like you got to be on here. It's 100,000. Like,
and
I don't want to.
Also, if you're making money off of it, put some money away for your kid. They're contributing to that channel just as much as you are. So if you are making money on social media and your kid is involved, then
100%
make an account for them and give them their cut.
That way they have something to show for it. Exactly.
I will say I've seen a lot of like younger generations be on TikTok, like no parental, and it's just their actual own like
I don't
genuine account, and I'm like, oh my God, these kids are literally on social media.
Mom, you posted that?
Doing these dances, and I'm like, wow.
It sounds like my sisters. They're like, your son's on here doing this and that. I'm like,
I didn't have a phone until I was like in 5th grade.
Like my niece too. She had like a TikTok and it was private. She had like 5 people on there, but I would like go in there and look to see if anybody's commenting. If like make sure it's private because I'm just like you never know. Like there's some weirdos out there.
When something's on social media, it's on there, and it's like scary to think of that.
And I love my sisters reaching out and telling me like, this is going on or that's going on. I'm like, tell me any day. Like, don't consider it because sometimes they're like, well, I feel bad. I'm like, don't tell me so that I can become aware of the situation.
Exactly.
And even with those kid shows, you have to be careful because there's a lot of weird stuff going on there where they're acting like it's a kid thing and then they're saying stuff subliminally or they're doing weird stuff in the videos.
No, I've experienced that too, where like Enzo was watching some like YouTube and then they like start doing some stuff that's definitely not kids. And I'm like, how did this even get on kids YouTube? Like,
kids
YouTube.
Who's screening
because that's what I use because it's supposed to be more restricted.
I mean, I think now it's more restricted. Like recently, I think they made some changes, but before there was things getting through the
It's just I think like you have to really be a present parent as well because even on the kids YouTube, these little kids are like, oh my gosh, shit, and I'm like, hold on,
Wait,
this is or they're talking mean to their siblings. They're like, don't do that, I hate. And I'm like, no, we don't talk like that to our siblings. Like, so you still have to be present.
We do talk like that.
So.
I mean, us as adults. Like,
Yeah.
we do talk like that.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm gonna read off some of these boy mom statements, and you tell me if you can relate. Raising boys is an extreme sport. That's why I wear workout clothes every day.
Yeah. For sure.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
He believed he could, so he did, and now he's in timeout. I've had a ton of those
For
episodes.
sure.
Yeah.
Loving your son means accepting him just the way he is, stinky, dirty, and loud.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A boy mom, which I know you both are gonna agree with this one. A boy mom is coffee and chaos.
Oh my God.
Yeah, which I know a ton of moms out
3
there.
coffees a day in chaos. Yeah.
Yeah. My wife's just like, I need a coffee. And I'm like, don't worry, I got you. Like, I'm ready. Got out of the gym, grabbing the coffee. I'll be home in about 5 minutes. Prior to having sons, did you want your child, or even a boy?
What do you mean? Like, did I want to have a boy?
Yeah, like prior to you, like say you probably planned it or whatever the case is.
Mhm.
Did you want kids? Like, was it
I
always your idea to have kids?
for me no.
So, I think it was in my plans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for me no. It wasn't like something that I really like held at a importance of my life of having kids.
Yeah.
But once I did, like, wow, like it really does change your life.
It does.
I will say I knew I was gonna be a boy mom.
Uh-huh.
Like the second I got pregnant, like I had a feeling like it was gonna be a boy.
Yeah.
And even with my second, like I knew it was gonna be another boy. So
That's
Yeah.
that's where I struggle, is having another one. I always tell people are like, he's almost 5, like time is ticking. And I'm like, my heart is so full right now.
Yeah.
I'm good.
yeah,
It's crazy
That's
because
my struggle, is having another one is my big.
it does get easier with the second one.
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
does because
Yeah.
they just see it and they copy and they catch on, and it's
But
way faster though. It goes by so
having
fast.
one when you're getting older is game changer.
Yeah.
I'm literally out of energy. I'm just like, shoot, like
Oh,
I'm in one room because my kid like destroyed one room and he's already in the next room
Destroying.
destroying the other one. I'm like, shoot. So I give a lot of credit to moms. I give a lot of credit to my wife as well because she's like, it's a full-time job. And I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah,
It
I
is
know,
a
but
full-time job.
it's not bringing any money in. Just kidding. I don't say that.
You better
But
not.
I know I don't. But
It's not
a lot of credit goes to
Yeah,
moms because
for sure.
it really
It's hard.
is a full-time. I
Mhm.
mean, my wife, she had to go to an appointment today. And shit, I was just with the baby just for a little bit. I'm just like, man, like,
She
hurry
coming home
up.
yet?
Yeah. I'm just like, are you coming back? Right? You just went out for milk. And she was like, no, I'll be back.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's a hard job. And it that saying that it takes a village,
Mhm.
definitely takes a village.
Yeah. We'll be right back. And we're almost done.
okay.
And we're back.
Nobody's gonna know. Oh.
And you know what that sound means. It's now time for the no, the O, and the laugh, where this and every show we give out a random hack, fun fact, or message and joke. If you're low on funds or need a quick hack so your little one doesn't get into the cabinets, well, fear no more. Moms, grab your hair ties and use them for temporary baby proofing the cabinets. If you're like my little one, it'll definitely come in handy. Dads, you can use shoelaces or whatever you have laying around. The message for today is a quote by someone unknown. I don't know why they always put unknown. They should just put a name to it. But you think dads are protective of their little girls. Just try a mom with a little boy. The fun fact, did you know the quickest way to get your child's attention is to stay calm and relax somewhere?
Yes.
5 times out of 10, they'll be standing there looking at you, saying mom repeatedly over and over and over again. And the joke, where did you learn to make a banana split? You guys don't know?
No.
Sunday school. There we go. A little long, I know. This next part of the show is where I challenge you parents out there with a suggestion or idea for you all to do at home. Maybe if you could tag the show, the Mom and Pop Spot podcast, and One Love when you do the challenge. Today's challenge I call the milk test. I did this with my boys. We got about every single milk we could find, and we had little cups and we taste tested them from cow's milk to breast milk to powdered milk. I mean, you name it, we tried it. We didn't waste it too, by the way. My work, I took a bunch of it there, and they told me it was disgusting, but I mean, it didn't go to waste. And now my boys have some experience with each milk. They're able to be well balanced and well nurtured on what each one tastes like. I teach my sons how important women are. To all the mothers out there, to my beautiful nanas, to my mom, my wife, my mother in law, and every single mother out there. I appreciate you all. Granted, it's not Mother's Day. Every day should be special for you all. Everything you have to encounter and go through, you are remarkable, beautiful, and you're super beings. Thank you. As we wrap up the show, I want to give a huge shout out to today's guest, Monique Carroll. Where can they find you at?
I'm on Instagram at Monique You're Amazing, and on YouTube, my family channel is The Amazing Fam.
Check it out. It's real good content. And our other guest, Giovanna Lopez, where can they find you at?
I'm on Instagram at Yovi Lopez,
Uh-huh.
Lopez with 2 Z's. Same thing on TikTok.
And your YouTube channel.
Yeah, my YouTube channel. I'm still working on that, but
Mhm.
I'm more active on my TikTok and my Instagram.
And what's your YouTube channel?
Just my name, Giovanna Lopez.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, and Mr. Habari Live himself, Mr. Dip. Please like and follow Habari Live podcast, Habari Entertainment, and check out the other shows on there like Habari Live and Wealth for Generations. Please also check out One Love on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Stay safe out there, stay hydrated, and make it a great day. And we're out.